Welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. So happy to have you with me this evening. A little bit past, actually not a little past, actually at 8 p.m. on the East Coast. Look at that. I was on time. Actually, I'm not on time because I'm about an hour late than normal. So I'm on time for my lateness. That makes sense? Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I'm an hour late because I was busy today. Again, sadly, doing so much work for almost no outcome. But that's okay. This is literally like my busy season, like 35 days before the election. This is my busy season. So much work for no outcome. But that's okay. We're going to keep working to try to get us some damn outcome. We're going to hope for something. We'll see what happens. I just keep going. So glad you are here with me. And guys, as I always say, you know what button you got to do. You know what you got to do with the button. Use an appendage of your choice. And smack, hit, attack, push, press, click. Any of the things you would like to do, you pick the verb to the button known as like. Do that now so that people can see this. It does matter tremendously. If you care about me, you do it. If you don't do it, you don't care about me. And I would ask, why are you so callous? Why are you so, who hurt you? Who hurt you that you would not click that button? Someone has hurt you. And I'm sorry about that. Now click it. Anyway, I want to say hi to everybody, and I want to kind of bring this up if I can. I want to kind of Catherine comes right out and goes, "What is this room? It's been bathroom for months. This is my bunker. I'm bunkering down because the world's ending." Karen, you got it. Thank you. Yes, yes, the world's ending, so I'm in my bunker. That's why. See, that's the whole piece. There we go. Yes. All righty. Chris, how are you, sir? It has been forever. It's been forever. I knew you couldn't leave New York. I knew you couldn't leave it. You were just talking trash. You're not leaving New York. Chris, Larry, miss you, brother. I'm still in New York, but the house is sold. Okay, great. Won't be long till I'm out. You're the last great thing in New York. I appreciate it, my friend. I keep trying. I'm either belligerent or, I don't know, something stupid. Something. I keep staying here. All right. Thank you for the friendly stuff. I appreciate it, guys. The one thing I want to bring up, though, is I was talking about the debate last night. And you might say, wait a minute, Larry. You said last night, what you said is that it was kind of a tie, was what you said, right? And I said, yeah, it's kind of a tie. But by the end of the post-game show, when people were talking, we were talking about, maybe it was a Vance victory, a marginal victory. So I thought maybe a marginal victory. And I agreed. You guys were saying, hey, maybe because of how he said this, how he said that, maybe that it was kind of a Vance victory. And I said, yeah, you know what? I could buy it because it was close to me. Well, I wasn't the only one who thought that. So yet again, your boy is correct. This right here is the polling. Right there what it says. CNN right afterwards, 51-49 Waltz, basically a tie. Next, CBS News, 42-41. Basically a tie. Also Vance, though. And then Politico, 50-50, straight even. Yep. And then Daily Mail, 50-43, +7 for Vance. What does that mean? Basically a tie with the edge to Vance. I think that's accurate. I thought so last night. I still think so. Okay, great. So now that I have proven myself correct yet again, and here's the most important piece. I gave you guys a pregame show right before it live, talked out what I thought. Post-game show right afterwards live, and we're still right. See that? There we go. And we are still right. I appreciate it. With that in mind, what does it mean? Nice, but what does it mean? Well, I got to say, I think if anything, if there is a minor Vance victory, and I think it was a marginal win on points. This wasn't a knockout. And you notice, by the way, if you watch a lot of either, strict right wing or strict left wing media at all, it was like Waltz destroys Vance on this. Vance crushes Waltz on this. Waltz collapses on this. Vance dead on this. Like all saying how it was destructive. There were no knockouts. That was not a thing. There were no knockdowns. Now, don't get me wrong. Vance in the first half, as you know, did a lot of good jabs. A lot of good. He punched Waltz the whole way through, right? 100%. Waltz, and in the second half, got a couple of combos in. 100%. No one got knocked down. No one got knocked down. So I just want to bring that piece up. So I think it basically says that it was a draw. But I want to bring something else up, which may make some of you upset. Right now, the way the current polling is, this is what it looks like we're probably going to have. The way the current polling looks. Now, this is just current polling, so don't get mad at me. This looks like right now. That, by the way, means a Harris win. That one means a Harris win. But note, if any of these change, Nevada changes, Pennsylvania changes, any of those changes, Michigan changes, any of those change, it's a Trump win. That is how close this is. That's how close this is. This is and this, again, this is just the current average polling. You can trust polls if you want to or not, right? Many of the polls are within margin of error, so this could swap. That's my point. This is my point. This is a close race. Just because this polling right now says Harris win, I'm not predicting Harris. I'm not doing that. So I want to be clear. I want to show you what it would look like right now with the current polling as of today. This is close. And half of these states that I've made red or blue, the victory in polling is within margin of error. So any of these could swap. It's within margin of error. That's how close this race is. This is far closer than any president race we had that I can remember. I can't remember one closer. So even though it may not be much of a shift, a little shift could change this thing. A little teeny tiny shift could change this thing. And I wanted to bring this up because I think it does matter. Now, I'm going to cover now what I think the effects will be in the future. Why? What will this actually affect? Did it actually affect the polling? I don't think so. No. Did it actually affect someone liking or not voting for, or wanting to vote for Trump or for Harris? I don't think so, no. But what it might change is messaging in the future. And that might affect enough people, right? If the Democrats and Republicans learn from this debate how to message, because you got to admit, if you watch both debates, this was a way better debate. It was way better, right? So if they copy any of this and begin shifting, that might affect people. So I think the effect of this debate itself will not be much. And the race is way close. But the messaging that comes from this, that might affect it. I think there's where we might see a difference. Thank you for the $5. Mike has bad knees. I'll be honest. I didn't watch much of the debate. But from what I saw, it looked like Vance was winning kind of easily, despite the biased moderators. Oh, and that's my point, Mike. You're correct. If you watch the first half, even like moderators who are left-leaning were like, yeah, Vance is kind of winning it. Because he was. We watched it in real time. Vance was constantly jabbing Walz the whole way through the first half. He clearly won the first half. He did. But on points, he didn't knock Walz down. And he had an opportunity or two. He didn't do it. Second half, though, that's when Vance was still doing well. But there were just 2 or 3 times where Vance dropped the ball and Walz got a combo in. And I think that's what gave Walz the advantage in the second half. But overall, I think it was a slight Vance victory. But Walz did do something, right, in the second half. The first half did almost nothing. I completely agree. Thank you for that super chat. By the way, if you guys would like to super chat me, it goes right to the front if you want to. You can. If you're watching on Larry Sharpe YouTube, just click super chat. You can do so if you want on Larry Sharpe YouTube. You can become a member on Larry Sharpe YouTube if you want also by clicking that join button if you like. But here's the free part. Free. Don't cost you a dime. Click subscribe. Just subscribe. Click the bell for notifications. You can even share it if you want to. See that? Don't be selfish. Why are you being so selfish? Share. Sharing's caring, man. Show that you care. That's all I'm saying. Show that you care. I love it. So, yes, let me walk down why I think some of this matters. All righty. Let's see here. Oh, Rick says thank you. First thing when I get here. Also, thank you for being a member. I appreciate it. And then and the AC, thank you always. I do appreciate it. Yes. Kim is in the house. You didn't say I'm home. Kim, you messed up your catchphrase. You had a catchphrase. You're messing it up. Next time. Can't come back and do it now. Too late. You screwed up. Got to do it next time. That's all it is. Got to do it next time. That's all. So, yes. All righty. The piece I want to bring up. Number one piece I want to bring up. The piece that beat up Walz the most, and the piece that beat up Vance the most. The piece that beat up Walz the most was him responding to his lie. He does not respond to being called a liar well at all. Remember the idea of you were in China, were you in during the time? Didn't say it. It was like, well, I was kinda and I love and look over there and boy do I love chocolate. It's delicious. Like, what are you talking about? Were you in China during Tiananmen Square or not? Well, 2 plus 2 is 4. We all know this. What? That's what he basically did. And he did it again. Remember, he did it also when he was at an interview with, hey, were you a combat vet or not? Well, I got a record and, guns shoot bullets. Yeah, I know. But were you a combat vet? People see me and I have 2 arms and 2 legs. Yes, he is terrible at that. And if I'm a reporter trying to get him, that's all I'm going to ask him. That's like every question. So if he can repair that, Walz will be better. He does not respond well to this at all. You've seen him struggle more than once. That's like his Achilles heel. Now, of course, sadly for Vance, he didn't press it at all. He could have pushed him into mush. He didn't do that. He's got to fix that. Here's what Walz did very well. The Jan 6 response, he would not stop hammering. Well done, Walz. Well done. Because that's when, of course, Vance fell down. Vance fell down that question. And then people trying to defend Vance. Well, Vance, Larry, what's the right answer to the election piece? It's a grossly simple answer, right? If you're Walz, here's the answer for Walz when, were you there or not? Just come clean. That is the answer. Openly say it. Say, no, I actually wasn't there during the square. I was there earlier. What I was saying was I was there during that time. That's what I said. It came across wrong. I screwed up. It wasn't true. It came across wrong. I misspoke. Sorry about that. Just say it. Just say it. Does it suck? Yes, you shouldn't have said that, right? But if you just come out and say, I was wrong, I screwed up, what I meant was, whatever, you take a little bit of a beating there, but then the beating's over, right? The beating is then over. But when you dodge and jump and, oh, look over there, oh, squirrel, you do that, they keep beating you up. Same thing with his, I was carrying a weapon of war at war, whatever dumb thing he said, whatever stolen valor thing he said, right? Doesn't just, well, my record show. No, say, I screwed up, I misspoke, and here's the problem. He didn't say that. So now we keep punching. That's going to keep coming up now. So if any of you ever run for office and you screw up, just say you screwed up. Take the punch then, and then it's over. He should learn that. Now, the reverse of Vance. What's his answer for J6? It's grossly simple. You just go, of course, Biden won the election. January 20th, Trump left, Biden walked in. Why we have an issue here? Of course. Obviously, he's president now, right? Ostensibly. Right? He's president now, right? What are we talking about? Aren't we running against, weren't we before you guys decided to swap things out because you didn't like him anymore? Weren't we running against him? That is the response. Done. Solved. Over. Who cares? If they do that better, the negativity will be different. I think that's an important piece. Let me tell you what Walz did very good and what Vance did very good. Vance was good. While his actual answer on abortion was not good. People say it was good. That's just cope. It was not good. How do I know? Because I just asked women and women did not like it at all. So no, not good. Not a good answer. Even though you men go, well, yeah, no, bad answer. It was not a good answer. What he did well though, was he actually projected some empathy. That part he did well. Vance has to get better at projecting empathy. In that regard, he did well. He projected empathy better than he has in a long time. So if he can keep projecting empathy, he won't be seen as the bad guy. He won't be seen as a jerk, right? And that will make him better off. He has to keep doing that, right? But also answer better, right? Also answer. Like he started okay. Like he started with like, well, the Republican Party's made a mistake, and that's not bad, right? And we have to get your trust back, be more pro-family. And the thing is, if you're old enough to remember this, there's some truth to this. What I mean by that is, if you remember the pro-life movement about 30 years ago, give or take in that area, I'm being very generic here. It was a very nasty movement. It was about women are bad, you're a sinner, you're a murderer. That's all it was. It was, I'm exaggerating. That was the majority of it. How about that? I'm exaggerating. The majority movement was that. But since then, that has changed. The pro-life movement has become much more of a let's take care, let's help, give options. It's gotten more empathetic over the past 30 years. That's true. But so for him to say we've done a bad job in the past, accurate statement. True. But he didn't push that. He didn't do that well at all. But he did at least put some empathy out. That was good. That part I thought was good. Let me grab another one if I can. Mike goes back on. Thank you for the $5, my friend. The fact that Vance didn't come after Walz on his COVID and George Floyd responses were a huge miss. Yes. But I think, here is what I think. I think the goal was, this is what I think, and I only can say this from what I've seen after and then during, is that the goal was for him not to be too aggressive, for Vance to be more of a calm, more empathetic person. I'm not sure I agree with that, Mike, right? I'm not sure I agree with, when I say agree with that, I'm sorry. I'm not sure I agree with that tactic. That may not have been the right tactic. However, I think that was their goal. And when it comes to that goal, he didn't do a bad job of it. He did not do a bad job of talking about his family, and that he didn't do a bad job of that. So I think that was their goal, and that's why he didn't do that. But if you were watching me doing a show, I was like, no, put Walz down. I'm with you. I would have rather him put Walz down. And before Walz tried, right? There was a couple times I thought Walz should have counterpunched, tried to put Vance down. He probably could have if he had kept pushing. But he did a decent job for Walz, right? I got to be clear on the skill set, right? Vance is a much more skilled debater, so you have to expect more from him than Walz. So when you look at Walz for the kind of debater he was, he didn't do that bad. I mean, he didn't do great, but I mean, he's not that good. So it's like, he's a minor league player and he got on base. So yeah, okay, not a bad day. All right, you're a minor league player and you play in the major leagues and you do it. So yeah, not bad. So yes. Let me grab a couple comments before I keep going. There's a bunch of you guys popping up. I do want to do some of these here. Mike says, I don't really care, but I still like, but anyway. Oh, Mike, thank you. I do appreciate that. I like that. That's great. So Yusef says, vote for him every year. I hope you mean me. That would be nice. I appreciate the feeling. Mike says, at least you're not friends with school shooters. Okay. There is the next piece. That actually happened too. I don't know if you know that. Someone asked some reporter or something came after him afterwards going, is that what you meant? And again, Walz didn't just say, yeah, I screwed that up. I meant families of or survivors of, or whatever he meant. I mean, I hope he doesn't mean that. God, I hope he doesn't. I'm going to assume he doesn't mean that. So he meant something like that. Just, he started dodging again. It's like, man, what are you, a lawyer? Stop. I just hammered on my lawyers now. So yes, what are you, a lawyer? Stop. Just go, yeah, I didn't mean that. What I meant was whatever he meant. I screwed that up. I meant this. But he just won't do that. He needs a body man next to him just to slap him every time someone asks a question. Just say you screwed up. What's wrong with you? Say you screwed up. Just do that. You're right, Mike. He screwed that up terribly. Mike goes on to say, Vance did a great job. Dude can talk. Yeah, agreed. Now, there's the second thing. I want to bring up. What Walz did decently is support Harris. What they did pretty good was continue the narrative they've created. They've created a narrative that's actually working. That part did well. The narrative. The narrative is that somehow Trump's the president. I don't know how he is, but that's the narrative. And that the change agent is Harris, even though she's currently in the White House. Yeah, but that's the narrative. The narrative is Trump is the person in charge. The last 10 years has been Trump, even though it's only the last 4. The last 10, 6 of them were Democrats. But that's fine. That's the narrative is it's all about Trump. I mean, Harris says that. The last decade, we got to change. 6 out of the last 4 years were Democrats. But I'm telling you, this is actually working. I'm seeing it. It's totally working. So with that happening, he was decent at that, keeping that to work. What Vance did a great job is Vance reps Trump better than anybody. And as I told you last night, and I still say it used to be Vivek. Vivek used to be number 1 Trump surrogate. Not anymore. Not anymore. Now Vance is number 1 Trump surrogate. He's the guy who's like, whatever you say, Trump did it. He's good. He's great. And again, this is the thing that Walz didn't learn. One thing, I mean, Vance did great. He did a great answer. You used to say Trump was the bad guy. You used to hate Trump. You hate all this stuff. What's wrong? What happened? And he literally said, yeah, I was wrong. He proved me wrong. I'm like, Now you can't say it's done. He took the punch, which she came at him. You called him the H-man. I don't want to say it on YouTube. The Austrian guy with the mustache took over Germany, that guy. You called him that guy, blah, 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 all that stuff. Note, I always call him Austrian, not German, because he was Austrian. Not German. He was Austrian. Take that, Austria. So anyway, so called him that guy, all those things. And he said, yep. And here's how I changed. Here's why. Well done. Walz should have seen that and went, oh, that worked. I should do that. He did not, though. Walz decided, I'm going to do a tap dance when they asked this question. Instead, get my hat, my cane, gonna love us, jazz hands. He did that shit. That was stupid. He should have followed Vance's lead. Vance did great on that one. That's absolutely true. John says, Larry, after watching YouTube videos today, I believe that your followers have a more accurate depiction of the debate than the commentators I saw today. Also, Nicole Shanahan, I think you mean Nicole Shanahan, not Shannon, would have done well. Two things. One, yes, guys, and I say this not to kiss your butt. Not why I'm saying it, but you all know it. When the people who watch this show, the chat is super smart. It's true. You guys challenge me, you challenge each other. This is not a show for the people who don't want to know stuff, right? You watch the show because you want to know stuff, because you want to get in and understand things. Yes, absolutely. And you know that even when I don't like people, I will give them credit where credit is due, right? Clearly, Walz and I do not have similar views on things. Clearly, Vance and I do not have similar views on some things. Clearly, it doesn't mean I won't give them credit where credit is due. Doesn't mean I'll even tell you when they're saying things that are wrong, literally wrong, but it's working. Like Trump is somehow the incumbent all of a sudden. And if you watch what's happening, people are buying it. They're buying it. This is a hope and change moment for a lot of people. So yeah, so thank you for that, my friend. And I think you are correct. This chat's very good. Also, Nicole Shanahan would have done well. She would have done well. I agree. Nicole Shanahan has been doing something very impressive. For those who don't know, this is many of you said why Vance was so good. Vance was so good, not because Vance is smarter than Walz. I don't know if he is, but that's not the reason. Vance was better than Walz because Vance has been doing it more. It's literally that simple. People wonder, Larry, how can you do this show so well? I've been doing it for 5 years. I've been doing this show for 5 years, live every week. Yeah, you get good at it. You do stuff, right? Do it a lot. People who want to get and do stuff like, I want to go do this thing. I say, why aren't you doing it? Well, I'm not ready. You're never going to be ready. Just do it. Just start doing it. You'll suck at it. Just keep going. And Vance has done a whole lot more than Walz. Walz has not done this well. Plus something else, Walz has never had to be on the international stage before, right? He's been a local governor, which is not a bad thing at all. I mean, that's a good thing. Good that you're a governor. All good. But governors usually don't deal with, unless you're New York's governor who thinks she's the president. Most governors recognize they don't have to work about the national stage or the international stage. They worry about their local state and try to fix it. That's great. No worry about that. But he hasn't done that. Vance has also been a senator. So he's been on a national stage for a couple of years. So Vance had a lot of advantages in this regard. And it showed. He had advantages and it showed. Shanahan is going out of her way to throw herself onto a bunch of podcasts where people will push her. That is very savvy of her. She is learning now how to deal with this, what she wants to say, making any errors that she may make now, so that by the time she gets in the debate stage, she can knock it out of the park. That woman's very savvy. I don't know if you guys like her or not, but I like her. You guys may or may not. I do. But she's very savvy. She's a very smart woman. That woman is very bright. And she's figuring stuff. I'm not just smart. There are a lot of people who are smart. And she is that. But she's also savvy. There's some people who are savvy and not smart. Smart, not savvy, whatever. She's both. 100%. She is definitely both. So, all right. Mike says, Frank Luntz in a focus group of 14 voters. Vance won 12-2. Yeah, I think, but here's what I would bet, though, on this. I didn't see that. By the way, Frank Luntz is one of the best. And for those of you who think Frank Luntz is great, I'm going to give you what Frank Luntz said at the end of the last debate. Do you remember what that was? He said Harris is going to win. That's what Frank Luntz did. He said Frank is going to win. He said that Harris is going to win. That's what Frank Luntz said. So I'm just saying, yes. But yeah, I do. But I don't think, Mike, and you tell me if I'm wrong here because I didn't watch this, so you can correct me. I don't think they said that Vance slaughtered it. I think they said he won. And I agree, right? I think at the end of, I was more in a tie when it first ended, but then by the end of the post-game show, I was like, yeah, he did win. So I would have been one of the 12, but I wouldn't have been like, he slaughtered him. Like, yeah, he won on points. It's a victory, but not massive because of some of the problems that he had. That's it. So yes. Mike also says CNN gave it to Vance. Makes sense. I get it completely. Kintsugi, how are you? You were watching with me all last night. I appreciate your back and forth. She says the headlines are so dramatic. Yes, they were all that way. They're all that way. Slaughtered, killed, destroyed. Insane. Yes. All righty. Karen says, hey, Karen, people likely were thrown for a loop by the actual debating instead of the petty deflective banter we got used to. This piece I want to bring up too. This was a better debate than the other one. And that was my point about communication. If you see Trump and or Harris change their communication, this might have been the reason, Karen. You are correct. Because what so many people said is whether they thought Vance or whether they thought Walz won, they actually liked the debate better. They actually thought it was a better debate. That piece is critical. That piece is critical. So I think you're totally correct. People looked at it and went, oh, this makes some sense. Okay. If you see a change in the communication, it'll be because of this. And then that might swing, right? Again, the debate itself won't, but the communication after will. Look at what the surrogates of each say in the next week or two. That's how you'll know. So Andrew says, Harris already won. That's what Frank Luntz said. I'm not ready to go there, Andrew. I'm not ready to call this. I think it's far too close. I know some people are like, oh, I know Harris already won. Whatever, Trump's going to blow it all out, whatever. I'm not there. I am not there. I still think this is 50-50. I'm not prepared. When I'm prepared to make a prediction, I will make one. But I'm not prepared to go there yet. I still need a couple more weeks before I figure this out. So Kintsugi says, so much red, but Harris win. Yes, because, of course, Electoral College. Of course. Yes, 100%. Absolutely true. So, all right. So I want to move, if I could not, I got a bunch of comments. I want to move down to a couple of things. The idea of China is going to come back for Walz. Guaranteed. If he doesn't have a very good answer for it, he needs to. He needs that. He's going to pay for it badly. And this is the issue. China, people think of China and America immediately. CCP. Oh, see, he's a communist. See, he's a Maoist. See, he's a Marxist. That validates all of the stuff they throw at him. You don't want that when someone has to walk into that booth and they're undecided or worried or used to vote Republican, but this time want to vote Democrat or whatever, right? If you're a Democrat, you want either independents or Republicans to turn if you can and make sure others show up, right? The people who are hardcore Democrats, they're going to show up and vote Walz. Walz, you got that. Okay, yeah. What about the rest? Well, Larry, how many are left over here all the time? There's a lot. There's a lot left over. And a lot because you only need 10,000. Depending upon a state. You could probably change the state with 10,000. That's why that matters. So, sorry, I got this frog in my throat. Again, I am not saying that's a victory. I'm just saying, there we go. Grace says, Pennsylvania may be a deciding state. I think it will be. I think you're right, Grace. I'm with you. I think it will be. I think he who wins Pennsylvania wins the nation. That's what I think. I think whoever, or she, I shouldn't say he or she, the person, there we go. The person who wins Pennsylvania wins the election. That's what I think. I think Pennsylvania will be the deciding factor. Because again, even in my thing that I just mentioned there, if that switches, Trump wins. She wins it, she wins. I do think that's true. And again, that could be 10,000 votes. Could be 5,000 votes in theory. That's why I think this could be something, right? There we go. All righty. Pinkerbell says, I can't wait to compare numbers from the last election. I'm being a nerd, but I'm looking at some interesting trends I want to compare. Oh, do tell, Pinkerbell. Please do tell. Absolutely. Yes. The AC says, Kamala death to all Gazans, Harris versus Donald dictator and one day Trump. Well, yeah. I mean, I think that is a point, right? That each side says that, and then do you do things that validate that in someone's head, right? The one thing that I think Vance did well is he kept saying the Biden-Harris policies, Biden-Harris policies, Biden-Harris policies. That was well done because he's trying to break the narrative they have of Trump is the president and we're trying to get rid of him. Right? That's the narrative. He was trying to break it. He didn't do it enough. I would have been doing this like every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes. I would have done Biden-Harris policies as the opposite of Democrats who for Orange Man bad. I would have made that my Orange Man bad. That would be my Orange Man bad. It's Biden-Harris policies. How can you support this? That's what I've been, everyone. It's the Biden-Harris policy doing this. Everything he's saying is bad. You're right. It's Biden-Harris policies. Why are you doing that? He did it with Trump. Trump did this. Trump did that. Why don't you say Biden-Harris did this? Biden-Harris did that. Fair. Fair. Grace goes on to say, feedback seems to be that the voters like this debate better. Yes, absolutely. The AC, thank you for being a member, my friend. There were 2 sane and competent debaters this time. Also true. Yes, also true. Grace goes on to say the New York Times said Vance dominated. First half. Second half, he did not dominate second half. Right? Not the second. I don't think that's true for the second half. I do not think that was happening. Yeah. Yeah. Mike says, I would super chat, but I'm broke at the moment. I'm not cheap. I'm broke. No worry. You already clicked the button known as like. You're good. You're good, Mike. And you're watching. So also good. Right? That's important. So yes. Mike goes on to say, maybe he should stop lying. Yeah, but people who lie like that, it's not easy. It just isn't. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Mike says, no sound must lie. How are you? Mike, sorry, I'm going to call you Mike Vance. Mike Voss. Vance absolutely was being nice at points rather than slam Waltz more. He was enhancing appeal to moderates. See, I think you're right. I think that was the goal. I don't think that was the right move. My view, not the right move. Right? I think you want, while yes, you want that, you wanted to make sure, the reason why I say it, right? And maybe I'm wrong here, but I didn't see Trump dominate the last debate. I think you wanted to dominate this one in some way. I think you really wanted to put him under a couple times. And there were times you could have and made him look weak. He did look weak many times. Waltz did look weak, taking the notes, staring at things, not knowing, doing the ers, uhs, a couple of those things. So he did look weak a couple of times. I'm not saying you're wrong, boss. I think he did do that. I think that was the goal, and he wasn't bad at it. But the problem is with that, if he would have been able to be nice upfront in 2 questions, it would have worked. Question 1 was J6. Question 2 was abortion. He did not respond well to those 2 questions. He was like, well, and my cousin, and look over there. If he had squashed those well, I think it works. Here, I'm not sure it did. So I don't know. I'm not sure that one works. So Kim says, I had to take care of my chickens, guineas, ducks, and turkeys. Oh my God, I like that. They want to go to bed right about dark. Okay, no, do what you got to do. I know you used to have swans. It's fine. Do what you got to do. I love it. 100%, please. All right. If I can keep going down here. The AC says, he kind of said I was there around that time. Might not have been exactly. Of course, Trump has proven that you never meant anything. Yeah, but you don't want to. Trump has taught us many things. That's true. But it also something else. You probably don't want to be Trump if you're not Trump, right? If you're Trump and you had 11 years on The Apprentice and you've been as popular as he has been throughout his life in pop culture, maybe you can get away with that. Waltz is not Trump. He should not try to be Trump. That's the problem. But again, sometimes people, Trump has taught us some things. You're right. Absolutely. Morgan says that will require a politician being honest. Wouldn't that be amazing though, Morgan? Wouldn't that be amazing? That's the point. Michael says, who appeared more presidential? I think it's clear Vance appeared more presidential. I think most people would agree with that. It doesn't mean you would necessarily want to vote for him. I think some people did not like him at all. Still, to this day, you find women don't like him, right? The stuff he said in the past, they do not want to forgive him. They're like, nope, not forgiving you. Not forgiving you. Nope. They are mad. They don't want to forgive at all. So I think yes, but yeah, there we go. So Mike says, what do they want? Abortion is unconstitutional. Well, here's the issue, right? What most people have to understand and get right is that whether you are pro-life or pro-choice, abortion is a very emotional issue, regardless of where you are. That's just a fact. And if you want to just go, well, logically it goes to the states, you're going to fail. This is not a logical issue. This is an emotional issue. And I think he tried to be emotional. Now, Waltz had like 3 stories of women who had, like lost their lives or bled or whatever. Just horrible stories. So Waltz was ready to be emotional. He was like, oh, got my stories. Boom. Emotion. Boom. Emotion. Boom. Emotion. Perfectly. Just boom. Emotion. Perfectly. Now, Vance tried that, but didn't the most important thing, which was say, no ban. No ban. You have to say that. And those of you who are pro-life, you're like, no, you're going to vote for him anyway. I'm just being very forward. And I know some of you don't like to hear that. But if you are pro-life and he goes, no overall ban, separate restrictions maybe, but I would never sign. I would never advise, Trump to sign a ban on abortion. That's what he should say immediately. And I know some of you pro-life go, no, this is politics. He has to. You're going to vote for him anyway. Just being forward. If I'm advising him, if I'm his consultant, the second it comes up, you start with that. You look, I'm going to be very clear. Not going to happen. They made it up. This is a scare tactic. The Democrats made it. This is how I would, as if I'm him, I would tell him when they bring it up, go, this is a scare tactic. They're bringing up to you. Absolutely not going to happen. Never going to happen. We're not going to have a full, that's what he should have started with. And at least the women would go, They at least would go, and they might listen. But if you start with anything else, they go, no, see, he's going to ban abortion, hates women. He hates women. I warned people of this. I have the receipts years ago. I said it. The second they end Roe v. Wade, the Democrats will turn from pro-choice into anti-woman. I'm sorry, pro-life. Sorry, pro into anti-woman. So if you're pro-life, now they hear anti-woman. And that also has been a narrative that's been working. Now, I do know many people who are pro-life, and they are not anti-woman. Again, logic does not matter here. This is politics. This is emotional. The storyline is, if you're pro-life, you're anti-woman. That's what Democrats are spewing, and a lot of people believing it. You have to get rid of that narrative, or you're going to suffer. He didn't. You're going to suffer. It is literally that simple. He didn't get rid of it. You're going to suffer. That was it. So yes. Anyway, I know some of you don't like that. I'm just telling the truth. Proud Vet says, like I told you, answering for Trump and January 6th is the only reason it was close. Yes, you're right. Yes, Waltz wet the bed in the biggest moment of his life. Vance gave the greatest defense of Trumpism to date. I would agree with both parts of that one. You sandwiched that well, right? I agree. That and abortion. I got to add it. Jansen's was the worst. Vance utterly fumbled that one. He totally fumbled that one. He totally fumbled that one, right? And I expressed earlier on how you answered that question. And again, why didn't his people give him the answer? Why didn't his people give him the answer? That's the crazy part. When I try to talk, when I do a lot of consulting, well, not as much now, but I used to do more consulting in the legal field, defense attorneys, things of that sort. And I always say you have to have, at one point, you have to have the person, if they go on a stand, to answer the clear question. Did you do it? Because that's what the jury wants to hear. So you do everything else, obviously. But sometime within that questioning, you got to answer that question. Did you do it? Was it you? Whatever. And you got to go, no. It was probably this, probably that. And that will often get thrown out, right? Because the judge doesn't want to hear that. But it doesn't matter. What do you mean by thrown out? If I go, right, so Larry, did you kill that guy? No, it was Grace, right? He's going to say, Stratch, you can't say it's Grace. You can't do that. But the jury heard it. I know, Larry, that's kind of cheating. I don't care. If you didn't do it, you shouldn't go to jail. I don't care. But anyway, I'm just telling you that it was Grace. Oh, okay, it was great. Oh, she did it. I knew Grace was weird. I knew that. It's her who did it. And all of a sudden, I got a shot. So at one point, you got to say the thing. So the question everyone wants to know whenever you're talking about J6 is, did he win the election? Got to answer that question. Talking about abortion. You're going to ban abortion. You got to answer that question. The jury's right there going, answer that question. And you go, well, you see over there and song and dance and blah, blah, blah. That's not going to work. You got to answer the question. And I think that he failed on Jan 6 and also abortion both. But yes, And as I said earlier, I have not seen a better surrogate for Trump. And I wouldn't have said that 2 months ago. 2 months ago, I would have said it's Vivek. It's absolutely Vance now. He's the best. He is it. Yeah. Pickabell. Vance Empty did not come off as genuine. He tried, but he has a very thin razor wire to tap dance with that. Pinkabell, thank you for being honest. That's so good. Thank you for that. That's what I'm saying. A lot of women didn't buy it. They didn't. So he tried and he was better, I think. This is why I think don't try. This is Mike Voss's point was what you're saying, right? Try to become more softer, more empathy. I think Mike is correct. That's what they try to do. If I was advising, I would not have done that. Because I don't think you can pull it off. And Pinkabell, you're not the only woman who told me this. He didn't pull it off. You are not the only woman who told me this. He did not pull it off. I would have rather him bury Walz. That's what I would have advised. Just bury Walz instead, right? I think he could have done it. I think he should have. But maybe I'm wrong. If the Trump campaign turns and becomes more pro-women in some way, and if they do it well with their surrogates, right? To be forward, can Vance and Trump be more pro-women? Maybe, but probably, but not. To your point, Pickett, where a lot of women aren't going to buy it. But can they use their surrogates? I think so. Right? I think so. Melania's got a book out. Maybe they'll have Melania go out there and be more pro-woman. Maybe. I mean, I don't know how well she speaks. I don't really follow her very much. I don't know if she's good at this or not. I don't know. But if she is, throw her out there. Tulsi Gabbard, throw Tulsi Gabbard out there, right? Try to be a bit more pro-woman. Maybe. Look, if you get enough, if you can break women to the GOP, I mean, that really would, that could be the 10,000. But I think your point's a valid one, Pickett. Thank you for being honest and saying that. I do think he did not get it right. Grace goes on to say, GOP made a deliberate effort to change the messaging on abortion. It went from Operation Rescue to paying for ultrasounds. Yes. Look, again, I know people who are pro-life don't like to hear this. And I'm not mad at you for it. I get where you stand. I get what you feel. I'm being forward here. The country now, because of how the narrative has been spun to it being anti-woman, is not on your side. It isn't. You don't have the majority. It's not on your side. You can see it in Kansas, see it in Ohio. You see it. It's not on your side. And I know you don't like it. I'm being forward. Do you want someone who's more conservative? If you do, want someone who's more conservative, you got to let him say, no, not banning abortion. Right? And this kind of thing is definitely, you got to be, what they were trying to do. And I think it's, believe it or not, my personal view on this is moving away from the phrase pro-life to the phrase pro-family is a way better phrase. Now, the problem is twofold. One, that will take forever to get on. Maybe, I don't know, years, who knows, long, forever. But also people who are pro-life are not going to like it. They're like, no, I'm pro-life. So your pro-lifers are not going to like that. They're like, no, that's watering down my message. They're not going to like it. So if you're, as I mentioned a couple shows ago, I did too many damn shows. I forgot which one. Whenever Trump goes away, whether that's now or 4 years now, whenever he goes away, the Republican Party is going to have a come to Jesus moment on what it really is, right? Is it more conservative? Is it more populist? Is it both? Is it some mix? Is it more neocon? Are they going to fall back to the old Bush-Cheney days, right? What is it? What the party going to do? I think at that point, the messaging should start going towards pro-family. Pro-family is a much better feeling. It's a much better way of doing things. And it could include pro-life in it. So, but it's not going to be easy. I know a lot of people who are hardcore pro-life. They are all about it. They're like, nope, don't water the message down. Don't do it. I'm just giving my opinion. You'll do as you see fit. So, yes. Sarah says, off-topic question. Do any of you get incessant emails and texts from the DNC no matter how many times you subscribe? I get them all the time, but I don't unsubscribe. I want them. That's because I'm crazy, Sarah. That is the reason why. No, do you know why I get them? Because it's my world. Right. I actually am someone who also writes these emails. I will write. You might have gotten one from me that I put together as a consultant. I put together emails to text messages, the whole deal. So yes. So I want them because I want to see what's working, what's not working. So I get them all the time. So yes. All righty. Sarah says, Walz did not mean school shooters. He meant serial killers. All right. Sarah, thank you for being a member, by the way. Kintsugi says, unnecessary dodging too. Just say you misspoke. Yes. Proud Beck goes on to say, Vance's job was not to beat Walz. His job was to make Trumpism accessible. Trump is ahead on nearly all the issues, yet he's positioned to lose. Why? People who agree with him don't like him. All right. I see the logic in what you're saying. I do. I see the logic. But you're asking, the person you're asking to do that is the wrong person. I'm not saying that you're wrong in what should be done, but it's the wrong person, right? It's like if they want someone to send a message of pro-choice and they send me out. Really? Me? I'm probably the wrong guy to send. Send some woman who's been through some stuff, who can connect with other women and say, this is why I'm pro-choice. You're doing pro-life. You're going to send me out? Really? Me? Send a woman who's been through some stuff, who can connect with other women, who can make that happen. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I feel like Vance has been the attack dog for what, the past 2 months, 3 months, 2 or 3 months. And to ask him to do that, wrong guy. Wrong guy. Right. I was at the Rescue the Republic this weekend, and there were a lot of people who were voting for Trump, a lot of Trump people there, but who was trying to make Trump feel less Trumpian, I guess, or be more accessible. It was his surrogates. So yes, my opinion. I look, time will tell if I'm right on this one, and maybe you're right, but I don't think it's the right answer for him to do it. I think Vance is the wrong messenger for this. I think Vance should just put him under. So yes, that's what I think. All righty. Grace goes on to say, Waltz looked nervous all the time, too nervous for national office. I don't know if he lies or he really gets confused and lost. He looks like he has dementia too sometimes. Yes. This is why, Grace, I think he should have put him under and had him really fall, collapse, make a mistake, look like he's incompetent, look like he's weak, look like he's a liar. I think he should have pushed. That's what I think. I think he should have pushed. That's it. Absolutely. That's why. Pinkaboo says he was president. She hasn't been yet. She would not understand why Trump is being framed as the incumbent. I agree. Oh, no. I get it, Pinkaboo. I get it. It's a good move. I get it, and it's a good move, right? If I was on the Harris team and they said this, I'd be like, damn, good idea. Let's do it. I would be like, on. Yes, it's a great move. It's working. You are correct. They should be doing this. It makes sense. What I'm saying is if the Trump team wants to fix it, they have to get rid of it. They've got to change it. They've got to stop it. They've got to say what I said. 6 years was Democrats. So no. Because we're on the same page. I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that if you're the Trump team, what are you doing? You dropped the ball. That shouldn't have happened. It was a mistake. The Trump team screwing up, not stopping this because it's working. And it's physically not true, but I get it's based on something real that he was president, but she's also been in office and a senator. So she's been in federal office maybe longer than Trump. She's been in federal office longer than Trump. So you could have swapped either way. You could be like, it's her era of her, whatever. They could have. They totally dropped the ball on that. That's what I'm saying. So yes. Minor Threat, how are you, sir? Vance is the face of the future GOP per Robert Barnes. Really, Vance? He's young enough. What's he, 40? Something like that, right? He's young. 39, 40, something like that. I guess he could be. And they were beating him up, by the way. Did you see this? They were beating him up on his beard. He had a beard. He's a bad guy. Toxic masculinity with his beard. I'm not joking. That's a real thing. Toxic masculinity with his beard. So yeah. Look, I guess, is that really the face? I mean, maybe it is. Is that what the GOP wants to be? Maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah. Let's see if I can grab down here a couple more of these. The anti-corporatist AC says, yeah, people understand the VP has virtually no power. Yes, but. A lot of VPs become presidents. So I'm saying, a lot of VPs become president. So, yes. Joel says, I was bouncing around 3 different VP debate watch parties last night. Okay. What did you learn, Joel? Don't keep us here. Come on now. Don't keep us here. Please let us know. Sarah says, Trump makes the same mistake. He was saying how bad San Francisco has gotten. It needs to be the best city in the world 20 years ago. I lived in San Fran 20 years ago, and Kamala was DA, Newsom mayor. Yes. Yes, absolutely. 100%. There are issues here that we should be looking at, and we're not. All right, let me grab a couple more things if I could. So overall, we need to look for a change in messaging. If that happens, you'll know that this made some effect. Where are they going to send Vance now? Are they going to send him to Pennsylvania? They're going to send him to, I don't know, Nevada, Arizona? Where are they sending him? That's the different piece. Where they send him. And are they sending Harris out? One more thing. I think this ensures, my gut says, no extra debate. If Vance had gotten his butt kicked, which he did not, but if he had gotten his butt kicked, I think we might have another debate. I think Trump might have been like, okay, I'll do it, to try to save Vance if Vance had screwed up. Vance did fine. I do not think there'll be another debate. But I do think that that's what would have happened. If Vance had gotten his butt kicked, I think Trump would have been like, okay, I was kidding. You know, we'll do a debate. I think he would have done that. Now I don't think he'll do another debate. I think right now he's going to push forward and look for an October surprise. And I think there may be more October surprises. I think there may be more. I think. Who am I kidding? Of course there will be more. I think. Of course there'll be more. And there'll be more in the next 2 weeks. It'll happen again and again and again. That's what will happen. And yeah. The question now is who goes where, right? Who sends what to each? So, all righty. We'll grab some more of these if we can. So many of these. I do appreciate it. Joel says Harris is going to win. She got over 100 million votes. Mail-in ballots magical. You know, I got to tell you, I'm surprised how many people are telling me Harris is going to win. I mean, look, I just showed you a picture of her winning because that's the current polling. But people are so confident. I just don't see it. Not that I don't see her winning. I think she could win. But I can't see this guarantee. I just don't see it. Even Frank Luntz said so. He's like, Harris is going to win. Even Joe Rogan said so. He's like, Harris is going to win. They're all saying, I'm starting to feel like 2016. And before 2016, I did not think, I stopped predicting so quickly because I thought Trump was going to lose 2016. That was one of my rare predictions that I got wrong, right? I do once in a while get things wrong. But I did not think Trump was going to win. I thought Harris was going to win. I'm the Harris. I thought Hillary was going to win. I thought that. Clearly she didn't. And I feel like some people are doing it again. I don't know. That's all I'm just saying. That's where I feel. Jess says, I love Nicole. She was my final guest the night before Bobby announced his running mate. I tried editing her Wikipedia. No matter how much sense I made, they weren't having it. It was a hit piece. Yeah. I like Nicole too. I'm a fan. And I think there are some people who think she doesn't do well with women because she's on so many male podcasts. I think that's true, but I think the reality is there's just a whole lot more male podcasts who will have her on. That's what I think. But I think that the advantage that Nicole has is severalfold. One, she's soft-spoken, and a lot of people resonate with that. She's honest in that regard. She's also hurt and bothered by betrayal of the Democratic National Committee. So I think that also comes, through her. Plus, she's a mother of a child with special needs. I think a lot of mothers really connect with what she's saying because she speaks about that, right? She says things like about family and about my kid, right? And a lot of women connect with that. So I do like that a lot. Not that I don't like Tulsi. I like Tulsi. I do. She's nice. I like Tulsi. But Tulsi doesn't like that way. Tulsi is much more of an Army officer. I mean, she is one. She's a lieutenant colonel in the Army. So yes, she literally is one. So she comes across more as that than she does mother. And Nicole comes across more as mother than that because that's who they are. It just naturally, right? I would expect nothing else. So yeah, I think that's true. So Proud Vet says no longer there are now Republicans who can vote for this ticket with an eye on future Vance presidency. Is Vance that popular among Republicans? I don't think after tonight, a lot of Republicans like Vance tonight. I think a lot of Republicans I saw all over social media today are like, Vance did a great job. So I think Vance got a bunch of points in the Republican world. But I think before last night, he was mediocre. Republicans didn't hate him, but they didn't love him. They were like, good Republican, whatever. I think more now, though. So, yes. Austin says, hey, Larry, my friend believes that the reason why Donald Trump and JD are not saying what they're supposed to say is because it's a tactic from the art of war. Don't show your enemies all your cards until the end. Maybe. I don't know. Sarah, thank you for being a member. I'd like to know, Nicole, as I have a small regenerative farm and I've worked many years with kids with autism and other disabilities, I'm sure you'd get along fine. I'm sure you'd get along just swimmingly. Now, also, how can you get along with me? Easy. Somehow depress, attack, smash, hip check, booty kick. I know what that's from. The button that is like. Please do that if you can. Do that. And if you can't, have someone do it for you. Either way, mash the button known as LIKE. It does matter. If you are watching on Facebook or Twitter, share this right now. Just share it. Do it. Share it. Share it. If you haven't subscribed, I don't know why you hate me. I don't know why you hate me. What did I do to you? Who hurt you? Stop it. Subscribe, follow, whatever is the thing. If you want to super chat me like some of you have, thank you so much. Super chats are always appreciated. Larry Sharpe, super chat, YouTube, goes right to the front. I pick it right up. You can become a member too. I try to grab members and acknowledge members. And if you know, I do a lot of multiple chats from members. So please, if you want to become a member, please, it's $49 per month. Click that join button on YouTube so we can make that happen. That would be amazing if you can do that. This way I can do more of this and less working so I could be on time. Damn it. I was late today because I was working and working to get nothing. Even better. Alex says Trump is ahead in most swing states. Yes, but not all of them. Right now, he's not ahead in Pennsylvania on average. And I'm doing averages. Nor Nevada. He's not ahead in Nevada or Pennsylvania, Michigan, or Wisconsin. Those four he is not ahead on average. So what's going to happen? What I'm saying, though, is to be forward, Alex, even if he's ahead, and even when Harris is ahead, it's by like a point, 2 points, and the margin of error is 3 points. So they're all in margin of error. Someone told me something which I think may be true. It is possible that of the 7 swing states, the way one of them goes, like all of them will go. So it'll wind up being much more of a blowout, even though it'll be for like 100,000 votes, right? There'll be like 10,000 votes in all states, and it'll change it. But then because it's winner take all, it'll be electoral blowout. I think that could happen, right? What if it's very close in all 7 states, but then come November, Trump wins all 7, blowout. Or the reverse, Harris wins all 7, blowout. And if they win each one by like 50,000 votes or something, that's 400,000 votes out of 170 million probably going to vote, give or take 160, 170 million. Yeah, I think you're right. So yes. Mike says, why aren't we talking about the ILO strike? We have much bigger impact on the election outcome than the debate. This is what I think is going to be one of the October surprises, Mike. I do. Why do you let that happen? Why do you let that happen, Mike? So I'm Biden and the election's 30 days away. Why the hell do I let that strike happen? There's only one of 2 reasons why I let that happen. And this one I think is the reason. They think they can solve it in the next week or 2 and be heroes. Right? I think the October surprise for the Democrats is some type of deal, either with them or a union or overseas, like there's some agreement in Israel or some agreement in Ukraine or some agreement here. There's some agreement so they can say, see, look how good we are. We fixed it. We made an agreement. This is normalcy, not this crazy Trump guy who just rip everything up. I think that's the total surprise. And my gut says they want to get labor so they somehow solve this. That's what I think is going to happen. That's what I think is my total surprise for the Democrats. One of those things. That is my gut. That's why I think they're talking about it. Oh, not talking about it as much. But again, we're not going to talk about it until all of a sudden now I can't get my stuff. Right? When I can't get my stuff, now I'm mad. That's when it'll happen. And then when you can't get your stuff, in comes Super Biden to save the day and to make a deal so you can get your stuff again. See? Vote for Harris. And he'll say it's, Harris's idea to fix everything. She's repaired the world. I think that's what will happen. We'll see if I'm right on this one. Alexa says, Frank Luntz doesn't have 100% accuracy though. That's true. He's not 100%. I agree, which is why I'm saying I was just letting you know that he actually said it too. There's a lot of people saying Harris has won this thing. And I think you're with me, Alexa. I can't see it. I don't see a done deal at all. But they do. They see it. And so I just have to hope that it's going to be one of his rare and accurate elections. But he has been wrong before. You're correct. He's not 100%. Yes. The AC. Harris thinks she's already won. I'm afraid she's going to spike the ball on the 1-yard line. Oh, AC. Yes. Yeah. She gets the fever. That's what Hillary did. Hillary was already ordering. She was already ordering new curtains for the White House. She was already doing that. That's what Clinton was in 2016. She's like, yeah, I'm ordering the curtains for the White House. And yeah, that could definitely happen. Yes. Yep. Chris says, I'd be more proud to be in America if the president race was Vance versus Walz and Trump and Harris stepped down. Half of the chat said that last night, Chris. Half of the chat was like, yep. Absolutely. All of that stuff. Yes. That's good. All right. Mike says, I went to a Yankee game recently and they faced the Pittsburgh Pirates. For fun, I polled Pirates fans who live in PA, and it was close, like 55-45 Trump. A lot of swing state teams are in the playoffs. Ooh, interesting. It is kind of cool. Mike, it's a really interesting idea. I like that. It's a very interesting idea. Yeah. Alexa, thank you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate it. Is mail-in, in-person, or early voting better? Never voted. How people talk about election integrity makes me nervous, but I've received mine in the mail. Now, to be forward, some states have been doing mail-in voting for decades, for years. I don't know if it's decades, but definitely for years, maybe some for decades, for a long time. I actually feel comfortable. I think it's Colorado. I think Colorado does only mail-in. I don't mind those states who do that because they've already found ways. Both sides have watched, right? They've had lots of time to figure out how this works. They have decent rules in this. I'm not that concerned with those states. My worry is the new states who haven't done it before, who did it just because of the lockdowns and just for starting. That's my worry when it comes to the mail-in. If you're in a state who's done it for whatever, 10 years or something, you're probably fine. That'd be my assumption. You just started, I'd be worried. I'd be concerned, right? If you really care about your vote being counted, I think the best chance you're going to have is going in person if you can. I recognize that everybody can. I recognize it, right? When I was in the Marine Corps overseas, I voted via mail. I didn't mind. It was fine. I requested a ballot. I got one, fill it out, send it over. So yeah. So I think if you're concerned, go in person. If you're not concerned, do the mail-in. If you have a state that's been doing it for a long time, both parties are fine with it. They've been through it. Then I think you'll be fine. I think Colorado's one of those. I would feel comfortable if I was in Colorado. I mean, maybe it could be corrupt. I don't know, but I think you ask my opinion. If I was in a place like Colorado, I'd be fine. If I'm in some place they've never done before, I might not be so much. That would be my answer. Generally speaking, early voting is not any better. If it's good for you, obviously do it, right? But it's not any better. You don't get time in case something crazy happens right before the election, and your vote often doesn't get counted until later anyway. Often early voting is counted after the day of voting. That's how their rules are written. So your vote gets counted last or later, generally speaking. So, but again, how do your work schedule? Alexa, if you've got a very flexible work schedule, if you can afford to do that, then I would just go in person on the day. If you don't have that, I get it. Early voting is fine. I hope I answered your question. So Yusuf says, I write your name in every government election. Yusuf, thank you, my friend. Yes, absolutely. Sarah agrees with me. She said, I wanted to see Vance-Walz one. Not that I wanted to see it. I really didn't care either way, to be forward with you. I just thought it would have been better for him to do so. Yes. Daniel says, if I hear Maha more than once from Trump, I will take 5 friends with me to the ballot box. No Maha, I don't know. Well, let me bring that up. There were a lot of people who are saying, well, Vance, talked about the ticket. He talked about Maha. He did not. That's not what he said. He mentioned RFK Jr. and Tulsi one time when he was dodging a question about Jan 6. He was in a corner and said, these guys. I'm with you, Daniel. That's not awesome. I really would like them to actually talk about Maha. I would like that. I would like them to talk about Maha. I'd like them to actually talk about Kennedy, talk about Tulsi, and I'm still not seeing it. I am. I said that in the Monday show with some of you got mad at me because people were yapping so much. But in the Monday show, I'm like, I feel like it's two separate campaigns still. I would like what everyone, but it's still two separate campaigns. I would like that to happen. So yes. Alexa says my state doesn't count write-ins. Neither does mine. Utterly unconstitutional. But yes, utterly unconstitutional. Private says humanizing Trumpism was the mission. Vance all but apologized for overturning the Roe v. Wade. I think you're right on that one too. And that was, again, I'm not saying you're wrong on his goal. I'm saying I wouldn't have done it. Right? Because Pinkerbell, I think, has said something that a lot of people also believe. She's not alone in this. A lot of women, I'm sorry, I should be clearer. A lot of women just don't trust Vance. And in 30 days, you're not going to turn them. Now, if Vance decides he wants to run for president in 28, he's got 4 years to change that. And I think you could do it. You could change your image in 4 years. It's possible. You have to work hard, do a lot of stuff in front of women, have them beat you up, get through it. You could do it. You could change your image in front of women, champion some female issues. You got 4 years. It could be done. 30 days, you got no shot. You got no shot. I don't see them doing it at all. I can't see them doing it like that. So, yeah. Let's see here. Kintsugi says, an honest politician would never win. Well, yeah, I think I'm an example of that. That one kind of hit home, didn't it? You beat me up, Kintsugi. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. It's all good. Yes. Piggy says, everyone not Trump who tries to beat Trump face plants. Ask Ron DeSantis. Yes, thank you, Piggerbell. Don't get me wrong. Can some politicians learn some lessons from the way Trump just kind of stormed over everything? Sure. I think there are lessons to be learned. Of course there are. But you don't want to be Trump unless you are Trump, right? Just be you. You can maybe add some things you liked you think he did well or avoid things you think he didn't do well. I get that. But no. Yeah. The AC goes on. Yeah, there are things that Trump has shown us that anyone can do, and there are things that only Trump or the next Trump. Yes. 100%. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Joel says, I've heard those women dying of sepsis stories. If true, aren't these malpractice issues not abortion law? No, I don't think. No. I mean, I guess in theory. Wow, that's a tough one. They can't. Okay. I guess you got to decide, is it morally or not legally. Legally, these are abortion law issues, right? But you could say morally, they should break the law to do it. But then that's not malpractice, right? In fact, if anything, malpractice, and they would be breaking law to help them. That may seem stupid, right? But malpractice isn't about right. It's about legal. I know it sounds weird, but it is. So if it's illegal to help the woman and you help the woman because you care about your Hippocratic oath, not your license, your medical license, even if you help the woman, you could be punished. If you help the woman and she gets hurt, you're double punished. So it's hard to blame the doctor realistically when the odds are high that if he does the thing, he's going to lose his ability to feed his family. It's hard, right? I get what you might say, well, so what? It's life or death. No, I get that. It's an argument, but we can't all be expected to do that. The law should be fair to where that doesn't work, right? The law should be fair to where you should be able to help these people. And I think they're worried that it isn't. So no, in this specific case, I don't think it is malpractice because I think it's actually illegal. So yeah, there we go. All right. Jess says, I opened your other channel on YouTube. That one has super chat. This one doesn't. I was looking for it. Yes, the reason, Larry, why do you have two channels? Because I'm worried about being canceled. That's the reason. I have two channels. One is called Larry Sharpe. One's called The Sharpe Way. Larry Sharpe is my main channel, so I spend most of my time on. A lot goes on to Sharpe Way also. Please feel free to watch either one of them. Doesn't matter. The issue is Sharpe Way, though, is smaller because I don't put as much effort into it because that's my backup channel. If the gods of YouTube decide we no longer like you anymore, we will smite thee, and they smite my channel, I have a backup. That's the reason why. I also do two Twitters also. Same thing. This only goes live on one Twitter. There's another Twitter, does not go live on that Twitter. But if we need it, it's a Sharpe Way Twitter that I can fall back to if I have to. So yes, I have a couple of things. Two Facebook pages too. So yes, so if Facebook goes away, I got that too. So I have a couple of them. So yes. All righty. Grab a couple more. Grace says, on a side note, it's too bad the LP won't listen to you. You're an excellent coach. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, they will not. They will not. Yes, they don't. I hope they will at one point. I hope so, but I don't think so. Yes. Jericho says, hey, Jericho, I think RFK and Tulsi can pull in women. Nothing speaks to a mom more than protecting the health of her children. Yes, that's my point. Yes, I think they can. That's how they have to do it. I'm disappointed they're not putting them out more. Yeah, I think that you're hearing a lot of us say that, right? You're hearing a lot of us saying, what's going on here? Is this two separate or not? You know, that's the issue. So, all right. Pickup goes on to say, thank you for being a member, by the way. It's not even just the DNC sending those emails. There's so many political entities that buy our info. Maddening and shouldn't be allowed. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. You should have to opt in. And they have a clause that's kind of BS. You should have to opt in. Look, some people care about their political party and want to get those emails and want to know what's going on, who's doing what. Awesome. Nothing against that. Opt in. Opt in. You want to hear it? Give them to me. I care about what's happening with this guy or that guy. All good. But they just buy it and do it, and that's the end. So, yes. All right. Proudbet says he won big when he fact-checked the moderators about Biden-Walz app that provides illegal immigration citizenship. Yes and no. Yes and no. Here's the issue, Proudbet. A lot of women saw that as, and I saw it online, mansplaining and talking over a woman, as men always do with their toxic masculinity. I'm not joking. So, yes, that's true, but that's all I'm saying. People who don't like Vance are going to find that as a bad idea. That's what I'm saying. Yes. Pickleball, I get, okay, so we got it. We're clear now. Thank you. I'm glad we're clear on that one. Daniel says, take another look at the election map and consider Colorado or Oregon and Hawaii as purple. All right, hold on. Let me put it back up again. I will put it back up. You tell me what I'm missing here. There it is. So you're telling me Ohio's going to go purple? No. Really? So Ohio's going to vote 35 or 40% for RFK Jr. I think you're dreaming, my friend. So Colorado is going to vote 29, 30, 40% for RFK Jr. I think I'm not sure that you're right on that one either. Hawaii was possible. Sadly, though, RFK Jr. has been pulled off. His team pulled himself for some insane reason off the ballot in Hawaii. So he's not on the ballot in Hawaii. But yes, Hawaii was actually possible. That was something we could have done. That would have been dreaming. But for some reason, they decided we want to make sure we get no states. So yeah, that was bad. But yes, that was possibility. That could have happened. But it did not this time. So yes. All right, Mari, let me get this off you guys. Hope that answers your question. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lara. You think these debates are about persuading voters to vote or using emotions rather than policies? Is that how most voters vote for the most part? All right, couple things. I don't think that policies don't matter. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is emotions matter heavily in voting. A lot. Right? There's an old saying, which is common. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. That concept works here too, right? The idea is, do you care? If I think you hate women, now I know you don't, Mari, but if I thought that, why would I believe you in anything you say? Your policies are irrelevant. You hate women, right? So why bother? But if I go, oh, no, Mari, she doesn't hate women. Oh, no. In fact, she loves women. Oh, great. Okay. And then you say something, I go, oh, okay, now we get it. So I'm not saying you don't use policy. I'm not saying you don't use facts. I'm saying you have to make sure that you are also using emotions. Emotions matter. Vibes matter. They do. If they didn't matter, Harris would be losing, getting blown out. Vibes do matter. And sometimes it seems like it's a bad thing. And the hardest part is to find the combination of both, to be logical and policy enough, but to also be connecting and emotional enough. The combo is what works. If you can imagine, I always say when I teach, I teach like classes, obviously, this kind of stuff. When I teach charisma, one of the things I say is charisma is actually it is a formula. It is warmth plus power equals charisma. So you want to be powerful and you want to be warm. Those two together gives you charisma. Now that warmth can be sharing something, It can be being vulnerable. It can be telling a joke, because often telling jokes makes you vulnerable. It can be sharing knowledge. This is all forms of warmth. But you got to find out what works best for you. Mari, you and me are different people. We're gonna have different ways that we show warmth or empathy. We got to figure that out and do it the best we can, and then show how we show strength or power. Right? Each of us will also do it differently. You might raise your voice. You might take up more space. You might speak authoritatively. Whatever the case, you might open your mouth a certain way. Whatever. Those types of things are going to be what we decide to make that happen. So you need both. These debates can do many things. Clearly, I think Michael Voss believed and Proud Vet believed that the Republicans wanted to use this debate to kind of make Vance more of a human person and to promote Trump as a human person and be better. I get that. I think they're right. I think that was their goal. What I'm saying is I wouldn't have done that, right? If it was me, I would have said, wrong messenger, use it to make Walz like an idiot. So like Harris picked an idiot and Harris is an idiot. Everything's bad. It's all going to fall apart. That's what I would have done. I don't know which one's right. Look, if Trump wins this thing, they might have been right. If he loses, I will blame Mike Voss and Proud Vet specifically for the loss. Done. See how it works? Easy day. There we go. Kitsugi says he's 40. There we go. That's what I thought. Yeah. Pinkenbell says he was 40. So you guys, thank you for that. I do appreciate that. Yes, he's 40 years old. I knew he was young. So he has tons of time to deal with this issue. Tons of time. So that's great. Yes. Okay. All righty. Matt, thank you for being a member, my friend. I appreciate it. Larry, Charlie Kirk said something along the lines of, if he doesn't like ranked choice voting because it encourages only second best to be good enough for something. What do you say about ranked? I disagree completely. I think anything that's not first past the poll is a good way, whether it's approval voting, star voting, ranked choice voting, yes, yes, and yes. What you want to do is be able to vote in another way. You want to be able to not just go, I'm stuck, I have no choice. I have to vote for the lesser of two evils, right? Charlie Kirk's fine with lesser of two evils. He doesn't mind. Many people are. Like, we don't care. I got two parties, two choices. That's how it works no matter what. Ranked choice voting gives, particularly locally, a chance for someone to be a third-party candidate and win. And it's not second best. Imagine how stupid that premise of that is. Charlie Kirk thinks only the best win. That's what he just told you. You believe that? So everyone who's won an election, they're the best? Yeah, the premise of the question is stupid, right? The second best loses. Stop. The premise of the question is stupid. It's absolutely not true. Only the best win elections. Stop that crap. So, well, Harris won an election. I guess she's the best. Biden won an election. Guess she's the best. Trump won an election. Guess she's the best. Vance won an election. Guess she's the best. Walz won an election. Guess she's the best. We have all the best ahead of us. What are you talking about? According to Charlie Kirk, they're all the best. We're all good. No worries. It's a silly question. Silly premise. Doesn't work. So, no, Charlie Kirk is wrong. So, anyway, hope that answers your question. So, David says if Harris wins, I'm moving to Argentina. Well, Malay is doing well, so maybe you got something there. Yeah. Joe says 2016 was a learning experience for all of us. Yes, sir. It was. I took a little, absolutely. Yes. I really, 100%. So, Snork, Y2K, thank you for being a member, my friend. I think Harris will get most of the votes from Haitian, Mexican, Central American, and Chinese illegal immigrants. The question is, how do you do that? Right? That sounds very easy to say and do, but that's not. That's not an easy thing. It just isn't. It would be easier to somehow scam like mail-ins or something. Much easier than do this. This is very challenging to do. So, yeah. Pickleball says, there's like 3-lady podcasts anyone can even name. It's a very male-heavy field. 100%. That's why I'm saying. I'm not blaming Shannon for this, Pickleball. You're right. It's dominated by men. So it's challenging for her to get. I mean, there are female, of course, there are, but it's dominated by men. 100%. Totally dominated by men. Or if you looked for those that have like two hosts, you have much higher chance of having women. But even most two host places are two dudes. So yes, this is grossly, this field's grossly dominated by men. 100%. Yes. So, all right. Pinkerba goes on to say, Ted Cruz is preemptively crying on the news about illegals voting as if Texas doesn't have voter ID laws. Yeah, but again, guys like, this is my exact point about someone like RFK Jr. deciding to run again in 2028 or 2026, or in Nicole Shanahan running in 2028, 2026. There's going to be mass amount of people trying to block them out so that they can run next. Unless Trump does something crazy. I mean, he could. He's Trump. He could. But unless he does something crazy, he's gone in 2028. That scramble for the leadership of the Republican Party is going to be bloody and nasty. They're going to fight so much to try to get ahead of that. And I get it. If I was Republican, I'd be doing the same thing. I'm like, I can't believe it. Let's get on top. Yes, absolutely. NorCal Meat says, I love Tulsi. I'm a mom of children on the spectrum, but I'm still not a Nicole fan. Ooh, I rarely hear that. But there we go. There we go. So maybe it's both. Maybe it's both. Maybe they should have both Tulsi and her out to, touch different people who are touched specifically by each one, right? Clearly, Tulsi connects to you. Some people Nicole connects to. Maybe they need both. And I would buy that, right? I would buy that. It's a great idea. But again, they're not doing that. That is my problem. They're not doing that at all. Dave says, my college professor told me that politics is the continuation of war by other means. What many people don't get, and I hope you see here, politics is the mob. It's the mafia. Dave is correct. You can make agreements, so what? You can change things, so what? Your contracts are enforced via leverage. That's how your contracts are enforced. That's how your agreements are enforced, via leverage. And not just that, there's a trust level. That's the mob, right? My word is important. My word is my bond. It matters, right? That kind of stuff matters. You start breaking your word a lot, people know. You don't break your word. There are a lot of people in a two-party system, even though I've been anti-two-party system aggressively for 7 years now. 8 years now. 10 years, 2014. For 10 years now. I've been anti-two-party system aggressively, openly, publicly for 10 years now. There's a lot of people in that two-party system who would love to have me aboard. Why? They know I don't lie. They know I tell the truth. They know I'm trustworthy because they've tried to give me stuff and I've said no. I cannot say who and when I will not say. But at one point, someone offered to pay my bills. Not joking. You got some debt there, Larry? We can take care of that. Yep. I was like, no, thank you. At the moment, I still like to keep my soul. I mean, I might sell it one day, but right now I'm like, no. If it's good, I like it. I'm going to keep it now. It feels good. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm going to keep it. So, yes, that absolutely did happen. Yes. Phil says, Trump usually polls worse than he does in the election booth. Democrats are the machine, and I respect the torque of the machine. Yes, valid points on both of those, Phil, which is why, again, I just showed you the map. If you note, when I showed you the map, I did not say I thought Harris was going to win. I said this is the current polling that she was going to win. That's what I said. I was very clear in saying that. I did not say she's going to win. I said it's the current polling. But to your point, Trump often does better than the polls. And everyone in the swing state polls, even the ones where Harris or Trump was winning, they're almost all in a margin of error. So they're basically tied in the swing states. And I got people telling me, no, gonna win. No, not gonna win. Blah, 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 blah. Oh my God. Oh my God. Mike brings up October 11th, the Trump biopic, The Apprentice, is coming out. Maybe the October surprise, or maybe Trump does Joe Rogan. Oh, yes. I do not think Trump does Joe Rogan. I think Rogan does not do it. I wouldn't either if I were him. I wouldn't either. If I was Rogan, I wouldn't do it because that puts him in too much. That's a bridge too far for a lot of people. You got bills to pay. I wouldn't do it. And you can be like, Larry, no, I wouldn't. I'm telling you the truth. If I'm Rogan, I don't do it. I got bills to pay. No. I'm not doing it. I got a show I got to run. After the election. I wouldn't do it before. So I don't think so. That's my gut. I do not know. I was on Joe Rogan, but I do not know him well. We're not like buddies or anything. Nothing like that. So I wish, Joe, if you're looking for a buddy, I'm here, brother. If you're looking for one. I mean, he's probably got 80,000 buddies. But no, Rogan's not my buddy. I don't know him at all. I mean, I met him, but I do not know him. So I do not. But if I was Rogan, I would not do that after the election. But the picture, yeah, that could be it. Is it a hit piece? Of course. What am I thinking? It's a hit piece. What? I'm sorry I asked. That was silly of me. I'm sorry I asked. Snork Y2K says, thank you for the $2. Illegal voting starts with automatic driver's license. Oh, Snork, you are correct. Thank you for that. You're right. Yes. Once you give them driver's licenses, at that point, many places would take them in as voting. You're right. But I don't know if the challenge on that, yes, you're right, but that's tough. That's still tough. Not as easy as you would think, but it is, because if anybody wants to audit, that would be crazy. And New York State did an audit. New York State Citizens Audit actually did a full audit. If anyone audits, that could be the end. People would be gambling a lot for that, because election interference is like a felony. So yes, you're right. It could be done that way, but man, risky, right? Man, risky. Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha. Snorks goes on, but if you vote in person, you don't get the $20 from the person picking up your ballot. Valid point. Can make some cash. So yeah, need some lunch money. I think he's right. Alice says ID and one-day votes. A lot of people think that. I'm not sure I'm there, because there are people who, I just think you should have to request it. Just request it and show the ID, whatever you need to request it. Right? That's what I think. So yeah. So, all right. Let's go down here. Karen says, but will he free Ross? My gut says yes. Karen, I think if Trump wins, I think he will. My gut says yes. And the reason is there's no downside, right? Ross has already done what? 11 years? Something like that? 10, 11 years? He's already done a lot of time. I think 11 years, right? I think he's done, I think, 11 years already. So he always said, we punished him. We got the bad guy already. There's no downside. I think you free him. I think he does. There's no downside, and he makes some people happy. So yes, that's true. Phil says, New York fortunately have both, but the elections aren't. Yeah, New York, I'm going to give you my call. New York already. New York goes Harris by at least 12 points. Probably 15 to 20, but at least 12. Probably 15 to 20 points is my guess. I think 15 to 20 is the number that New York goes. So to be like, I don't know, 58, 42, something like that. Something like that. What's that? 16 points? That's 16 points. Yeah. Something like that. 58, 42, something like that. It'll be something like that. New York goes for Harris. I can't see any other way around it. I'd be shocked if anything, if not worse than that. New York is blue. People who New York say, no, it's not true. No. It's blue. So Joe says, Vance only mentioned Bobby and Tulsi about the endorsement and led him to freedom of speech. Yeah, it wasn't great. I'm not unhappy about it, right? I'm not unhappy. I'm not jumping down about it either. It was yes. Sassy says, everyone, if you want Maha, go and get everyone you know to make comments on Trump's X page and tell him he has the voters and he doesn't listen. Sassy, this is very good advice. Listen to Sassy. Very good advice. You should do that. If you want it, you should go get it. I love it. Absolutely go ahead, use it. And Sassy, you should listen to her. She also said, she just told me in my ear, I heard her. She said, click the like button. She told me that. She's like, get them in. Yeah, listen to Sassy. She also said that if you're on Twitter or Facebook, share this now. Don't listen to me. Sassy said that. So listen to her. Okay. She said that. She also wants you to subscribe. She's like, if they don't subscribe, something's wrong with them. I agree, Sassy. Something's wrong with these people. You should subscribe. You have to subscribe and also click the button for notifications. Click that bell. You don't click the bell. Sassy says you don't like her. And she's going to come get you. That's what don't be mad at me. This is Sassy saying it. I'm the messenger. She says she's going to come after you, come to your house, and steal your food. That's what she told me. She said, you're going to steal it, you can't eat it. She told me she would take the fork from your hand, snatch it, and take your food. That's what Sassy told me. So do what she says, or she's going to come by and snatch your food from your mouth. She's going to take it. Don't do that. Subscribe. Okay? Don't make Sassy mad. She can be a terror. You super chat me if you want to. I don't mind that. She didn't say that. She did not say super chat. But you can if you want to. You can also join. She didn't say that either. But you can do it if you want to. You can join. Go to Larry Sharpe YouTube, click that join button, $5 a month, and I do more of this. And I won't be late so much because I won't have to work as much. So yeah, there's always that. So, but listen to Sassy. She's smart. Okay? Just saying. She's smart. All right. Let me grab one more if I could. We have a couple more here. Alrighty. The AC says you can go and drop off your completed ballot off in person if you'd like. Oh, this is for Alexa. but I'm just going to go by the post office and put a 177 posted on tomorrow. I won't be in town much longer. Oh, okay. There we go. Yes. Jess says, Larry, he said Colorado or Oregon, not Ohio. I must have misread that. My eyes are broken. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Oregon maybe could have happened. The issue with Oregon compared to Hawaii, as an example, just so you guys know how this works. If you want to move someplace, often size does matter. As they say, it doesn't. It does. And Hawaii is a very small state physically and has one big city, Honolulu. So you spend a lot of time in that city to change. Oregon, you've got one big city, one major city, but you've got a couple, so you have to go after. It's a lot hard to get around Oregon. Oregon's a big state. It takes you time to get around. It's a little bit harder, but maybe could be done. Oregon maybe could be done. Thank you for that clarification, Jess. I just must have misread it. Thank you for that. So yeah. All right. Alva says Harris doesn't answer questions. Correct. She doesn't. She does not answer them at all. I agree. Yes, absolutely. So I don't think, yeah. Grace says Ohio is solid red. The state's hours is extremely, I think, voters, extremely conservative. It's an interesting combination of corporate America and rural America. It's red. Agreed. Yes, absolutely. Pinkham says, Larry is truly a politician, blaming everyone else. Yes. And that's your fault, Pinkerbell. So take that. So yes, absolutely. 100%. That's yes, absolutely. All righty. Let me grab a couple more of these guys. I thank you guys. Thank you so much for them trying to grab as best I possibly can. Right. I'm trying to. Kentucky says, I guess I prefer Tulsi because she's tough. Ooh. Kentucky, I usually hear the opposite. I hear people support Nicole because she's compassionate and not as much Tulsi because she's tough. This is an interesting take. I like this. Right. Yeah, I like that. I guess I prefer Tulsi because she's tough. Nicole's compassionate. Both are needed completely. But I usually hear the opposite, right? And again, that's who they are, right? Nicole is a mother. That's who she is, right? She's mother of someone who has special needs. Tulsi's an Army officer, right? She's a lieutenant colonel, of course, absolutely. Sarah goes on to say, "I love Shanahan most for intelligence and empathy." Yes, that's what I usually hear. Continue. That's what I used to hear. I like Tulsi and Hope, and Hope to like her more. Okay, and Hope like her. Yes, she likes Tulsi. Hope to like her more, but she's more of a Shanahan. I feel like, and I don't know this. This is just anecdotal. Women tend to like Shanahan better. Anecdotal. I don't have any data on that. So just from what I've seen, that's really the issue. So Mike says, Ron Paul did get electoral vote for president in 2016. It's a rogue voter, but yes, but not a state. But yes, but not a state. That's the difference there. There we go. All right. The beauty of core physics. You're Rogan. Do you what you want? Oh, if you're Joe Rogan, you do what you want. Agreed. Yes. But I don't think he'll want that, is what I'm saying. I don't think he'll want that. Absolutely. People goes on to say this election went from being a snooze fest to being super interesting in the blink of an eye. Yes. Numbers. Good point. 100%. Yes. Sarah says I know Tulsi has been brave, but I don't trust her yet. I want to. Look at that. I got to tell you, guys, I love your honesty. You're saying things that if someone was sitting here listening and watching as a pollster, this is like a focus group. You're saying what you actually feel. You like this, don't like that. I love that. That's amazing. Absolutely. Snork Y2K, 100 votes might matter. Yes. Mike says Trump posted about Ross on Truth Social. Oh, I didn't know that. There we go. I that just reinforces my thought. I thought he would do it anyway. That reinforces it. Absolutely. Yes. All right. Sarah says, Larry says Sassy is a bully. Be careful. Like, yeah, she kind of is. It's true. She kind of is. Yes. Yeah. Sarah says, I needed that laugh. There we go. It's true. She would do it. 100%. Daniel says 180,000 votes in Hawaii wins. Daniel, see, you get it. Thank you, my friend. See, political shows, right? Political shows don't always get this. Daniel, you're right. 150,000 votes in Hawaii could win. 100,000 votes. Think about that. That's not that crazy to get when Honolulu has most of the population. With enough time, money, energy, and volunteers, it's winnable. You are correct. You get it. Most people go, oh, it's a blue state, forget it. But no, Daniel's like, no, I checked some numbers. Let me look. He checked the numbers and thought, how much money will it take to do this? How much money will it take to do that? Yes, absolutely. So I think that's funny. That very well done. Thank you, my friend. I do appreciate that. Yes. Becky says, you'll quit trying to pit women against each other. It's not a competition. Tulsi and Nicole are both awesome and both on the same team. Yes, Becky, we're not. Here's what I mean by this, though, right? I mean, you got to decide who do you put where, right? That's and then what message we're going to say, right? So if I have to have a message for Tulsi and what she's going to be pushing, I'm probably not going to make it women's issues. I'd rather make it anti-war, right? So if I'm going to, again, this is if I'm consulting. And I've got Tulsi in my stable that I can put out there. I got RFK in my stable. I got Vance in my stable. I got Tulsi in my stable. I got Nicole in my stable. I got a bunch in my stable. Who am I going to put out, right? In which place? I would rather put the healthy family, healthy mom. I'd rather have Nicole take that. I'd rather have Tulsi take anti-war, right? If I got to pick the two, that's where I'm going. That's what I'm saying, right? I'd rather have Vance be my attack dog. He was a good attack dog. So this is my point. But yes, they are both good in the same team. I agree. But I think you have to decide who's going where and what, right? Who's doing the best for each. That's the piece. Yes. Jonathan says, I just drove from New York to North Carolina and back and surprised how many more signs I saw for Harris than Trump. Yes. For you people who love Trump and think he's going to win, he might win. I'm not saying me and Jonathan are right on this, or we have some special. I'm not saying Jonathan is going to win anyway. All I'm saying is it's close. I think what Jonathan's trying to say is it's close. It is close. This is not a done. No, this is absolutely close. 100%. So, all righty. All right. Kintsugi says Bernie Trump is a pretty big leap. It isn't. And let me bring up why it isn't. And I know this because, most people in 2016 were screaming for a rebel. Now we're screaming for change. We want a change agent right now. We do want one. And that's why Harris has decided that she's a change agent, right? And that's why she went down that narrative. Trump was not good enough to be very forward as putting himself as a change agent. He wasn't good enough. If he was, Harris could have never grabbed that. And this is to Pinkerbell's point. He's been president before. So yes, Pinkerbell's correct. And Trump should have realized that. Trump's team should have realized that, come out aggressive with the right messaging early to stop Harris from picking it up. They didn't. Harris grabbed it, and right now she's got it. Vance was trying to do something about it last night. I think not good enough. We'll see if he keeps doing it. Here's the thing. If Vance and the team are good enough, I'm not saying they are. If they're good enough to turn that narrative back to, no, Harris, this is your baby. We're the new kid in the block. You're the one who's been in charge for all these years. I think Trump wins. If that happens. Right? Because that's a big change of mindset. Why do I say that? Because what you just talked about, Kintsugi. People in 2016 wanted a rebel. If you leaned right, you wanted Trump. He was your rebel. If you leaned left, you wanted Bernie. He was your rebel. The Democratic Party was too good at crushing the outsiders compared to Republicans. Republican system was more democratic, right? And that sadly in this case was a bad thing for the established Democrats. Establishment Republicans. Establishment Republicans did not want Trump at all. They didn't want him they still don't want him, but then they did not want him. But their system was too democratic compared to the Democratic system, which was far more authoritarian. So the authoritarian Democratic system could just basically get rid of Bernie, which it did. And when it did, people were broken. About a third of the people who was Bernie bros just held their nose and went, okay, fine, Hillary. About a third said, I'm out. I'm going to go do something else, or I'm not going to vote, or going to vote for Gary Johnson or Jill Stein, whatever. I'm out. And a third said, all right, Trump's a rebel. You might go, but their policies are so different. Half of these guys didn't know what Bernie Sanders' policies were. They knew he was a rebel. Talk about the billionaires, whatever you're talking about. Half of them didn't know what Trump's policies were. Make America great again. Okay. They wanted a rebel. That's what they were going for. How do I know that? Because I know a guy who used to run veterans for Bernie, then voted Trump, then in 2018 became my marketing chief. Why? Rebel, rebel, rebel. He just went for rebellion for each. I tell a story often. It was there was a picture I got when I ran in 2018. A guy took a picture of himself in front of his house. And the picture he took was him in front of his house next to these 4 things: a "Don't Tread on Me" sign, a rebel flag, a Trump 2020 sign, and a "Let It Show Up" sign. You go, wait a minute. What? That's insane. No. Makes total sense. Rebel, 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 rebel. That's what he wanted. He probably couldn't have told half of the policy what they even meant. He just knew it was, what's happening now ain't working, and I want something different. That's why it's not a big leap. Then people just went, oh, that rebel, another one. These guys aren't working. I also know this. I voted for Perot in the 90s. Then I voted for Nader. Now, I look back now and know they had different policies. I didn't know then. I didn't care. I knew they weren't the 2 parties. I'm voting for them. In fact, I was so naive when Nader came up in 2000. I thought he was like the replacement for Perot. He wasn't. Those who don't know, Nader ran as a Green Party and Perot ran as Reform Party. I didn't know. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't know. Now, I mean, it's funny that I know that now, but I didn't know. I was like, oh, okay, that's the guy. Okay. I thought they were the same party. Just that's the guy they're doing now. Okay, just do that. That's what I thought. So it isn't that big of a leap if you understand that concept. I hope that makes sense. I didn't want to go too far, but I hope that makes sense. So yeah, that's the piece there. And that's why it's different. As it goes, makes sense. Bernie was the left, rebel, Trump was the right. Yeah, okay, we get it. Oh, good. Yes. Oh, good. You got that. You got that perfectly. Yes. Says RFK is your health advocate. Tulsi's your anti-war and veteran blowhorn. Shanahan's the tech eye. Oh, yeah. I worked it too. Yes. Also works. Exactly. You get it. What I'm saying, right? You got to use each one to the best that you can, right? That's the issue. The best one you can get. That's the point. Thank you for that. You get it. Okay. Sindani says, after Trump, I'd love to see 8 years of Bobby/Tulsi, followed by 8 years of Tulsi/Nicole. I probably won't be around for that, but Nicole when somebody goes on. Wow. That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. Yeah. I like that. Minor Threat says it was an anti-status quo election. 100%. Minor Threat, you are correct. 100%. That's exactly right. Right? It's exactly correct. So, guys, what I want you to do, if you don't mind, click the button that's like. It does matter. I appreciate all the stuff you guys are doing today. Once this live is over, please do me a favor and come back and post something. Post whatever you want on whatever you're watching, with Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Come back, because you know who likes that? The guy who I got to keep make it happy. That guy, Mr. Rhythm. Al is his first name. Gore is his middle name. And his last name is Rhythm. So make him happy. Come back, click, so I don't get shadow banned as much. But I do get shadow banned. But yes, I do think we have to do that if you could. Guys, thank you so much for tonight. I appreciate you giving me so much of your evening. I'll be back tomorrow. Not so late, I hope. I shouldn't be so late tomorrow. I should be back on at 7 tomorrow. Great. So I will see you all very soon.